Welcome to the January 16th MACMR meeting. Thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order now. I'd like to ask Commissioner Osborne to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance today.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At least we got it on the right side.
Yeah.
Happened to the state flag not standing up, what happened?
You saw that, Director?
I think somebody stole a piece out of it. Huh. Have to get a hold of that.
We're going to tighten up the security around
I
here.
tell you what, if I tighten up something,
Director, you mind leading us in prayer this morning?
I'd be glad to. First off, I'd just like to thank y'all for being able to come to it at a different time, but we felt like with the weather this morning that it was best to delay this some, and hope everybody's okay with the weather. I know you better get ready for tonight. I don't think it's been that wind chill of single digits in a long time in South Mississippi, and it's going to happen tonight. So hopefully the problem is it's going to be for a long time. It's several hours instead of 30 minutes or do. So get ready. We somehow or another we got the North Pole in South Mississippi. All right, if you would please go with me in prayer. Lord, we thank you so much. You've been blessing us. You've blessed us so many times, and we don't deserve any of them, but you've given them, and you continue to help us. Lord, we just ask you to take this commission and we take this agency and give everybody that's affiliated with it the wisdom and knowledge to do it your way and to be able to do it the right way. Lord, and if we do it your way, we'll be better off than trying to do it ourselves. And we just ask that you lead and guide and direct us. Ask this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joe. I'm glad I didn't have to leave at 8. I had to chisel my door open. It was frozen
I
shut.
chiseled mine up about 7:30 this morning.
Yeah. All right. Approval of minutes. Do we have any discussion on December 19th minutes? Do we have a motion to approve? I'll second. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Approval of today's agenda. Do we have any discussion on the agenda? Motion to approve? I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Joe, we're going to turn it over to you.
All right, let's see if we got, can we get the employment? You can see we got several new hires. Robert, he's not exactly a new hire. Robert was with us and left, and now he's come back. So we don't call that much of a new hire. We just called him, got him back. He went to the portal, and then I guess, was able to get him back out of it. You know, that's, well, and you know how that goes. But we got several other promotions and all. You can see them on the screen. I won't read them out. But doing good. We're glad to have the two new personnel, Robert being one of them, back with us. And we're always glad to have a promotion to the people. Okay, any questions? There's no contract, so we'll move right along and go into the agency update. First off, if you have a public comment, TJ somewhere back there in the back area, and just see TJ and he'll give you a piece of paper and you can fill it out. We'd be glad to bring it, and we'd like to do it during the part of what we want to talk about. So if it's something please get it to him now. With the 2019 Bonnie Carey, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're updating as we talk about. Tracy, I do not have that sheet you sent me. Do you have it with you? Could you come, would you mind stepping up and briefing that? Somehow or another, I lost that sheet.
Good morning. So, just to recap, on job titles 1 and 2, which was the financial assistance, all the charters have been paid out. We have 29 of 31 signed dealers agreements that have received their final payout. We have 267 of 293 signed commercial fishermen agreements for their payout. We have about 5 who are still in process, and we have some folks that are waiting until that second payment to sign for their personal reasons. And we hope that next round will come at the end of January.
Yeah, and the next round, we're talking about the commercial fishermen, and if we if they were oystermen and had it, they got 15,000 initial, and if they were other than that and didn't have oysters but shrimp or whatever, finfish or crab, they got 7,500. Now, what we're able to do is go back after that point and look at it, and whatever they would we think from their 4 years prior, whatever they would have made in 2019 that they didn't, we can pay them up to 108,000, and that
That's that's
up
right.
to $108,000 we can pay back on what they lost. So we're going to be able to make a lot of fishermen halfway well for a little bit, and that's just for that 1 year. The ones that not going to be able to get whole, that were over $108,000 in loss, they're the big main shrimpers or whatever, and companies, and they were able to go somewhere like Florida or wherever and do some fishery. So maybe they wouldn't hurt as bad because they could make it, but we can get them up to that point. And so hopefully we'll be able to, we'll take this off of trip tickets, and it'll be off of what they have turned in for trip tickets of prior years and all. And hopefully we can make a lot of people a little bit close to whole and keep them in the business for a little bit longer. Is that
Yes,
right,
sir.
Tracy?
Yes, sir.
And then also we're working on the processors, and we're being able to give them, and we'll be doing some stuff there for they turn in and tell us that they need to purchase this type of equipment or whatever, and we'll be able to help them with that. And what was the number on that? 2.5, 3 million,
So that was 3.6,
3.6 million that we have for that.
which includes a little staff time,
Yeah.
but most of it is for
Yeah,
the process.
but anyway, it's in the roundabout figure, so we'll be able to help them to be able to upgrade their equipment. That's what we're trying to do with that, and basically where you can, a lot of Louisiana and everybody else has got better equipment because they've got money to do it, and we're going to try to do what we can to be able to help ours get back on board. Anything else on it?
I would mention that in February we'll have the commercial fishermen safety program
Okay.
where we will reimburse them to have safety gear for their to make their livelihood more safe. Yeah.
And
Their
and we're
vessels.
also hoping to do some stuff for off bottoms that we've got in our and we have that in the grant, but we're doing some oyster stuff out of the grant too. Where we're replenishing some oyster reefs and all. We're working on a lot of things with it, so the grant's going to help pay for a lot, and I think that a lot of people will benefit from this, and we'll be able to move forward in the agency. And we also applied and were granted another 3 million starting for 2020, right? Isn't that right? Was it 3 million? Is that right? Rick shaking his head. So we haven't received that yet, but that'll be mainly for the oysters and shrimpers and stuff, and to be able to help them for what they lost in 2020 compared to what they had. We did not get approved for 2021. We're still working on trying to get some other stuff, but it seems like especially the only thing would be the oysters that we're still losing in 2021, and we don't know if we're going to get anything for that or not. But we're still trying every day to help them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Tracy.
You.
All right, legislative sessions going wide open. They're up there today, and so if you haven't seen, we do have a new chairman over the Marine Resources in the House, and that's Brent Anderson. And Brent's a good friend of us, and Timmy moved over to the water side and doing some stuff with soil and water, so he's over there, but he's still on the committee. But we'll have Brent, and he'll be helping us out. And then on the House side, we have Senator Thompson, and Senator Thompson's our new chairman there, and so we've been working with him too, and that's not a problem. And he's been working with us all along. He was a co-chair before, so I think we'll be doing fine. And we're still trying to figure out the appropriation side of it, because they broke appropriation down to like A, B, C, and D, and E. And one of them, they're going to take, like my understanding, it will be the Department of Marine Resources, Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, the Department of DEQ, and some others, and put them in one lump sum, and then they'll be an A, B, or C, or whatever number it is, and they'll be the appropriations people that we go to, and then they will take it and work it through. And I think John Reed is the head of appropriations for the House, so it'll all go back through him still the final stamp is my understanding, but, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out which way we need to do. The session's gonna go to the end of April this year. So, you know, we got a while to get it done, and we have to get our bills in, I think 1st of February, somewhere along in there. We gotta get the stuff in, and we'll be able to move forward with that. We still just, have small, we don't have anything big. Any questions on the legislators? All right, second floor. Gonna be, off limits, anything on the, other side of it. It's at the west side? South side. South side, yeah. I keep my mind set, you know, I'm not out in a jet, so I don't know which way I'm going. But, the south side, the whole thing, for fisheries is being redone. The Department of Finance and Administration is redoing it for us, and they're just gonna come in and gut everything on that south side at one time. We got all the people moved to other areas, and they're gonna gut everything out and then start rebuilding it, and, it'll be a whole lot better in the near future. We're hoping, TJ, tell me if I'm wrong, by a yes or no, around the summertime? Huh? Yeah, somewhere along in there having it finished. So, much needed. They've been working in all kind of, trashy conditions with the cubicles and everything else. And, now they're gonna have something decent, and we're getting some new furniture for them. So they're gonna have something decent there too. And, we're glad to do that for fisheries. And so, if you got any questions, to find somebody in fisheries, you're gonna have to jump around all over the agency because they're everywhere. And, but let us know and we'll get you. Any questions on that? All right, Gulf Council, we have it, starting on the 29th in, New Orleans. And, so we'll be, working on that. I know that, they are gonna bring up the, if you haven't noticed, you know, we've put in, we're working with the Mississippi Krill, MS Krill, and we're getting that started. And that's gonna be a big thing. Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, all under the LA Krill type, and we're doing that for this year. And hopefully we'll be able to take samples and be able to take surveys and all under that. And when we get that done, then we'll be able to look at it, and I think that it'll definitely help us as far as our reef fish and everything else. And we'll probably get a lot of other things with the, sea trout, spotted sea trout and other things that'll come in, the redfish and everything else. We'll get a lot of different capabilities of managing that resource. And this is something that NOAA is paying for, so that's even better. And, so they're paying for it, and that means they're on board with us. And by them having on board with us, we'll probably get, NIMS on board, and, NIMS be able to help us get this implemented. And I think that our 60-something thousand pounds of, snapper will probably go up a lot, and we'll probably get back closer to where we should be. And I think this will be a fantastic move. Rick, anything else I missed on that? So, we'll be talking, that'll be one of the main topics that we'll be talking about. So, next commission meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February the 20th. Anybody got any questions of that? Any problem? Is that right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, offshore landing permits. You know, we, asked y'all to go with us, and we did, and went out for public comment, had no comment for it, I know, did we? And, so now we're gonna be able to implement on February the 1st to where you have to have an offshore landing permit if you're going to, you know, reef fish. And that'll give us, what this is gonna do is take our sample size from here to here. It's gonna be extremely better. And, hopefully, but people will have a year or so that it'll take us, just like we did with everything else, to be able to implement it 100%. Well, I don't think we'll be giving anybody a ticket this year, you know, with it. We'll be asking them to get, go back and do it if we find out. But, I'll catch them, but, I think we'll work it out just like we did with, our snapper before with, tails and scales. We'll work something out. But I think this will be fantastic, because instead of 80,000 people that they can survey out of NOAA, then it'll be down to probably 15 or 20 or something like that if we do it right, 1,000. And this will really help our sample size, and in which it'll turn around and give us a better chance to be able to get the numbers the way they should be. Which one is it? There's one fish that if we caught one in Mississippi, we'd shut the whole Gulf down. Amberjack, if we caught one in Mississippi, we'd shut the whole Gulf down.
How's that?
Because of the survey, the way it's done in NOAA right now. So does that tell you something? That tell you how out of whack it is? But this is gonna help us, all right, so we'll move forward. Any questions on that? Crab Track cleanup, is February 15th through 24th, it's been put out. And, Tracy, anything on that, any different, that they'll start doing it? It's something we do every year? Every other year or something, but we just, go ahead, if you got something.
We have funding to do a limited cleanup this year, and we'll do some more in the future, but we'll do it cooperatively and set the dates with the crabbers. So
This is GOMA funded?
this one is GOMA funded. Yes, that's
GOMA's
correct.
funding this for us, so that's a good deal.
We talked about this a couple meetings ago about reaching out to schools and having it as an opportunity for service hours for some of these kids. Is that right?
On the crab traps out in the Gulf,
Wasn't that the abandoned crab trap?
yeah, we did something, and you know what?
Yes, sir. So we did put out the press release, and we can share that specifically with anyone you would like us to. But we could.
We did, we put it out to the schools, they get it?
Well, we put it out as a press release and on our webpage,
You know
but
what,
we could.
yeah, if you got one especially like, that you wanna talk, we'll send something to them.
I'd say Stanislaus, and I think, what, Cam, didn't you say, or?
I think Pass Christian would be great as well.
Or,
Pass Christian.
okay, why don't we just send it to the schools, Charmaine? We can send this to the school systems and tell them that if they would like to do something in this to be able to do a, service hours, we'd be glad to work with them. Can you do that? Thank you, I forgot about that.
Thank you.
I forgot all about it. Okay, on bottom leases, we're working on them. We had, some comments, and the comments came back to us, and, you know, that, they thought we needed to look at some other things and, how we were doing it. We're working with, the governor's office as to how we want to move forward with this. And, also, we're working with Attorney General's office, and they're helping us. And we're, you know, going through the wording and whether or not we need to, work this out the way it is and go in and test it, you know, and do some additional things as far as what they qualify for and all, or do we need to start all over? We don't know the answer yet, but we're working on it, and hopefully we'll have an answer for it in the next week, and we'll be able to move forward. I'd love to do whatever it is. I want to be able to get to a point to by end of March that we can start letting people lease if it's any way possible, because we don't want to miss another cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Do you think there's a possibility of another round of requests for applications on
Oh,
that?
sure.
Is there?
And
Okay.
yeah, we did not lease all the property by any means.
Okay.
And a matter of fact, it's still out there, and somebody can just file right now if they would like to, because if it's something that we haven't leased, but
That's on
they
the-
won't know that until we get through with this, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
But, yeah, Rick, are you shaking your head? Is that all right?
You're right. When we get through this initial round, whatever's remaining, we'll probably go back out and do something similar. But there's a lot of bottom that was not proposed to be leased, and so whatever gets leased in the initial round, there will be additional acreage after the fact. So, and we see this going until we get most of the acreage leased up.
And it'll be the same thing, $2 an acre,
It's $3, I believe.
$3
yes.
an acre. Okay. All right. Hopefully, we like I said, we're trying to get this done so people can start coaching and do what they need to do in the springtime. And we're giving it all. And I know it looks like we're dragging our feet, but we're not. We're trying to. There's nothing. The one thing about it is we want to make sure that we're 100% correct the way we do it, and we do it right 100%, not do something wrong. Okay. All right. Any questions? The other thing is derelict vessels. Now we're up to 134 that have been turned in. 85 have been removed. 49 are pending removal, and we've got 6 that are in court orders. Anything on that? Other than that, sir, I think that's all I got to aggravate you with today.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Did we do the actions update?
No, we didn't. So never mind. Sandy, would you like to do that? You need to tell me I didn't do it.
I was gonna yell at you. At the December meeting, the commission recommended and the director approved the changes to Chapter 8 of Title 22, Part 9 to go to the Secretary of State's office for final approval. And that was done. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. Now we're done with you.
Now you're done.
Now we're done with you. All right. Do any of our commissioners have anything to report today? All right. Quiet month. Marine Patrol Chief.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, gentlemen and ladies, it's awful cold out there.
Kill it.
But we know we train for this and we prepare for it, but when it hits, it's just brutal. And I'm a warm weather guy myself. Getting to business, everything looked pretty slow this month, which is great. I like a slow month. It means everybody's playing properly and not a lot of citations. I think we had 75 citations total. Over 1,064 stops. Now that's a slower month for us. We normally range about 2,500 to 3,000. But December is always traditionally slow due to the holidays. I'll field any questions if y'all want to throw them at me.
You got anything?
All those fishermen in a duck blind or a deer blind.
That's exactly right. That's where I was last month. That's why y'all missed me.
Yeah.
My captain back there, Captain Freeman, did a phenomenal job, I heard.
And January probably gonna be slow too.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all.
Freeman last month.
Well, very good. He's a
Was on it.
he's a sharp kid.
Y'all be safe out there. That's nasty on that water in these conditions.
I hope they're not out there today within 40-mile-an-hour wind.
No, sir. Only if you go out there and we need to rescue you, we'll go out there and get you.
Thank you,
Right.
Chief. All right. Next up, Coastal Resources Management, Miss Willa.
Good morning. Wanted to go through some of our numbers for the past year. You all see very few of what the permitting staff actually does, so I do like to bring the numbers at the end of the year. For the last year, 2023, we had a total of 810 actions that the permitting staff handled. 667 of those were either regulated by the state or were regulated by federal agencies that we get to review before they issue permits for them. We had a combination of reviews and pre-application meetings, 95. That number is actually up this year. That's where people send us information about their project, what the impacts will be, and we review it and see if it needs a permit, if it's a regulated activity or not, or if they know they have a regulated activity and it's kind of going to be complicated, we'll do a pre-application meeting and discuss what they need to turn in their applications so it helps make the process go smoother. We did have 48 reported violations this year. Not all of those were actually violations. I do have a little more details in the last slide about those numbers. This is just a comparison over the last 2 years so we can see how the numbers have gone. If you notice, this year our second half numbers went up significantly, but our total numbers went down just a little. Usually we have more actions in the first half of the year and they drop in the second half. We flip-flopped that in 2023 for whatever reason. We had fewer in the first half, but significantly more in the second half. So we'll see how the first half of this year goes, how our numbers will compare for next year. We did go down a little bit in the regulated activities and consistencies and up a little bit in the other two categories. And then this is a little bit of detail on the violations. Total, we had 48, but actual violations were 26 of those, which means 22 we went out to and there was no violation once we got to the site. Out of the 26, we either issued an after the fact for 15 or it was resolved voluntarily by the property owner. There were 10 of those, and then there was one that had part of it was covered by an after the fact, and part of it was a restoration of some vegetation that had been damaged. Of the ones that were actually violations, 15 were reported by the public, and 11 were found by staff when we went out to do site visits for new applications. So just wanted to give a little bit of detail on the violations. And you see there, we did present one to the commission that was finished off with a $1,500 fine. There have been some presentations about another violation in Ocean Springs. You may remember we only count them when they get closed out, and that one's not closed out yet, so it doesn't show up in those numbers. So we don't know exactly yet what the resolution is going to be on that one. So if you have any questions about the details, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anybody? Thank you, Willie. Y'all run a lot of permits through there.
Yeah, thank you.
They, and also, I'd like to say, you know, there's a couple of them which you said that maybe have not been closed out, but I see Ray's back there. Secretary of State is working with us on several of the things, and I think the Secretary of State has sent some letters to some people and trying to get some things done. Ray, we appreciate that, and tell the Secretary we appreciate his help on that, because there's a couple of things that you know, that people have done something, and we're trying to work it out, but we got to have the Secretary of State backing us to be able to go forward, and we appreciate that. And I just want to let people know that they are working with us on it, and we appreciate it.
Good. All right. Up next, Finance and Administration, Ms. Brewer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm presenting the financials for December 31st, 2023. At the end of December, our state revenue was $4.3 million. Our agency revenue was $22.2 million. State net income, $779,000, and agency net income is $2.9 million. And after 6 months of fiscal year 24, we have 92.4 of our budget remaining, and the Tidelands budget is at 67. Any questions?
Questions? All right. Thank you.
And not to say, you know, after 6 months, we're not spending any money, but it's just a matter of a lot of things come in at one time toward the end.
Mhm.
And so don't think that 92% means we got that much in reserve.
All right. Ms. Charmaine, Public Affairs.
Good morning. The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources had 11 media mentions since the December MACMR meeting. News items included shrimp season closing north of the ICW on January 1st, the MDMR Hatchery Bureau releasing spotted sea trout, the marine information calendars coming available, and the Mississippi Krill Fishing Survey. The Office of Marine Patrol took part in the inaugural parade for Governor Reeves on January 9th in Jackson. The Marine Patrol also participated in Adventures Church Club at Destiny Church in Gulfport. They provided boat and water safety demonstrations and information to the children taking part in the event. I also put calendars in the back of the room if anybody needs to get any, and if we happen to run out, there's some in the front in the licensing office as well.
Those are a hot commodity. I get phone calls every year. When they gonna be out?
We've already had some places call to get restock, so
Wow, that's good. People like them.
yep, they do.
Got a lot of information on it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a valuable asset for us to be giving to people. All right. State records. We're gonna have Trevor come up. Margot.
Yep, Miss Margot got her one.
Margot.
All right, so it's a youth conventional tackle record today. It's a silver perch, bearded yellow crocera. The old record was 2.8 ounces. The new record is 3.2 ounces. The angler's Miss Margaret Schindler. Picture of the fish. There's Margot with the fish. And all we need is a motion to adopt the new state record.
I never knew what the actual name of that fish was. We catch them sporadically.
They've got about 5 different.
Yeah.
names at this
I'm
point.
like, oh, it's a cross between a white trout and it's good. Throw it back.
There's a fish, throw it back.
Well, that's great, and I would be happy to make the motion to approve this for Miss Margot. Her dad, Sonny Schindler, is a great captain and a huge asset to the Mississippi fisheries. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, before you go, anything on the MS Creel?
So calls started this past week. We've been working with Gulf states and the other ones to get everything set up and it's moving forward. We released the press release recently. We updated our website to include information about it, basically frequently asked questions, things of that nature. So if individuals call, they can kind of at least get most of the answers there. If they have more information they'd like, we're using the Tails and Scales hotline, which is routed directly to our staff for them to call. And they can always call the main line here and get directed to me or anybody else to answer those questions. But so far, haven't had too many calls. We haven't gotten the data from the first week back yet. So when we get that back, we'll kind of be able to hit the ground running on it. But so far, everything's running well.
Yeah, and I know you put out to the public and everything and asking them to please do, answer this and please, fill out surveys or whatever. And you're going to get phone calls. I think there's some phone call stuff.
Yeah, so it's
And-
all
And
all
you put out the
phones.
number that we're going to call from or some
Yeah.
type of number.
So it's gonna
people
be-
just don't robocall and say, I ain't answering that thing.
Yeah, it's a 985 area code from South Central Planning, who is currently doing the calls for Alabama and Louisiana. They've been doing Louisiana's calls for a while. They'll call multiple times, so it's going to be repetitive. And there's also going to be the option, should the angler not want to repeatedly get called or anything else like that, they can provide an email to be able to fill out the survey electronically in the future, should they be selected. So we'll be populating that as time goes on as well. And yeah, basically, if you have any if anglers or any of y'all's constituents have any questions about it, it's not a burdensome survey. It's short, it's sweet. We try to get it pared down as much as possible. Louisiana's on the same page with that. I mean, they designed it to be quick and easy. Get it filled out. Don't try to bother anybody's day and get the information, the basic information you need, or we need as managers. So that's the whole goal of the survey. So if they get that call, try to answer, try to participate. And if you don't want to get called again, try to provide an email and be able to do it that way. But
They leave a voicemail or something if you have it.
I'm not sure yet. We haven't.
Yeah, they definitely leave a voicemail.
You've
And
got
an
it for
email, and they'll
Louisiana?
keep
And they
calling, but
send
it's
an
literally
email.
a 2-minute
Okay.
or a 1-minute conversation. I mean, it's painless.
Yeah, I just hadn't got a call, so I didn't know.
Yeah, our prompts are similar to Louisiana. So if they left a voicemail, then the same thing's happening on our end. So it's prompted through that group.
And do you have anything on the speckled trout assessment?
We don't have a current spotted sea trout assessment. So remember, we talked about it last year, I believe. We talked about the index, how it's been, for the last 2 years with Bonnie Carey and the freshwater inputs. We've seen a drop in the index, but not a corresponding drop in the harvest, which leads to lower SPR values. And we haven't really moved forward on that end as far as pushing any decision for management. We've essentially kind of recommended status quo, which is where we've that conversation's led to when I've presented it here. We are working on a new assessment to include the data for this year and hopefully the upcoming year. It's a summertime assessment, so we should be able to have it on the back end of the year to hopefully get past this freshwater influence and see what that index does. If it continues to stay where it's at or continues to drop, I think there'll be some considerations and some conversations to have about it. But yeah, the recommendation of status quo remains simply due to the fact of the large scale perturbations in the environment with Bonnie Carey, record rainfall in 2021 and everything like that. We didn't want to rush to a management decision if it was environmentally based and a change in the fishery couldn't help, because usually when you change a fisheries management regime, it's hard to have any justification to change it back. So it's kind of the same conversations we've been having about multiple species. But we should have an assessment on the back end of the summer, around August, September.
Question. One other thing, Commissioner Daniels, would you talk to them? In the last 2 months, I tell you, if y'all told me to do something or asked me to do something, it may or may not get stayed in my brain long with what was going on. But you were talking about this charter boat stuff that's going on in Louisiana.
Yeah, so I had I forwarded over the text that I got to you, and I
Yeah.
may have sent it to Matt. I'm not sure. and I don't remember all the details on it. There's some type of program that they've gotten funded in Louisiana, similar, it sounds like, to the safety upgrades that we talked about earlier for commercial fishermen, but this is equipment upgrades that is grant money that they're being able to provide to their charter fishermen over there to upgrade things that they may need. I don't know where the money's coming from, but
It's likely through Bonnie Carey. Most of their stuff, their program didn't include direct pay. Their program is, I think, reimbursements across each fishery. So it's providing equipment, receipts, and everything else, and being reimbursed based on that, not direct pay to fishermen the way we had. So that's where the money is and where it's coming from, I believe.
okay.
LDWF, Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries.
Yeah, it's under the equipment modernization grant program.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, but I'll look it up once we leave the meeting.
All right.
I guess the question is, maybe we can check in with Louisiana if you get in and see.
Yeah, I'll call.
Find out, how they're funding that, and if there's something that we missed a boat on, by going and ask for it, maybe we can get ourselves in it.
Yeah, I'll call Jason Agents over there, see if I can get some answers.
I know Ronnie sent this to me in December, and, somehow.
Thank you, Trevor. All right. Did we end up with any public comments?
No, I don't have any.
No
Judge, you
public
have any?
comments. Do any of our commissioners have any other business today? I got business with a fireplace tonight and a deer roast that I put in the crock pot this morning. So
All right.
everybody try to stay warm, stay safe. We don't have anything else. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great day.